Hi, Cherrie. Nice to see that you've written us an essay. Let's take a look at it. The topic is international marketing, so let's see what you had to say here. Over the past decades, marketing on a globalized platform has become, without the ing, increasingly popular. Some support, without the ed, that it, I don't know why this is past tense, that it is a vitally important promotion strategy, while others are strongly against it due to the incompatibility of individual countries' policies, IES, and values. This essay will analyze both viewpoints, and based on that, my personal opinion is established. Okay, fine, but there's one thing here. You'll notice that the essay says discuss both views and give your opinion. So what I've done to help explain this is I've brought up the band descriptors for task 2. If you look at the 7, it says presents a clear position throughout the response. Your position is whatever the answer to that command is. So here, since we had discuss both sides and give your opinion, in order for it to be clear throughout the essay, throughout means from the beginning to the end, you need to include your position in the introduction. Okay, so now to your body paragraphs. As technology advances and many brands are promoted on an international level, consumers are given a variety of choices of products and services not only locally but internationally. Several lines of recent research suggested that this trend of a global village produced a spectrum of benefits. For example, individuals, S, can experience various OUS cultures, languages, and ideas at their fingertips. S. As a result, cross-cultural what? Awareness? That would have been a nice word here. Cross-cultural awareness in foreign languages, S, can be a lot easier to acquire than before. All right. So while I like what you wrote, it is really underdeveloped because you haven't, all you've really done here is taken some of the language here and just reused it, but you haven't extended, you haven't developed, and you certainly haven't illustrated or supported your arguments. So you say that they are, it has produced a spectrum of benefits. It's a nice expression. And you could say they can experience various cultures. All right, great. How? How does marketing do this? Explain it to us. In what way? How does this help learn languages and ideas? Okay? So it's all very vague, very abstract, with nothing really tangible, so that an examiner can say, oh yeah, now I understand the writer's viewpoint. Okay? Let's see. So, however, on the other hand, many countries consider, I don't know why this is in the past tense, it should all be in the present tense. Many countries consider it an enormous threat. For example, China does not allow Google to be used in their country, worrying that values promoted by the Chinese government would be criticized and challenged so that the societal stability is disrupted. Many locals complain that they are not given freedom and enough information to make judgment. Decisions, maybe? Judgment. Okay. A recent survey done by the University of Beijing reported that over 60% of interviewees claimed that they were being brainwashed by the local government and they were desperate to study overseas so that they can have a more comprehensive and unbiased education. Okay. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Let's get to your conclusion first. In conclusion, from my perspective, I strongly agree that the benefits of international marketing, such as allowing buyers to have more choices of products and services, will bring positive competition to the local market. Furthermore, the intrusion perspective from certain governments does not stand, as the locals clearly support, without the ed, that a wider perspective and more choices are vitally critical. All right. This could have been really nice, but you just didn't extend it, and I don't really know how relevant it was. Let's see. Remember, we're talking about marketing, so tell me about it being an intrusion. So they're worried that the values promoted will be criticized and challenged. Okay, but then you, rather than extending this and supporting it and seeing why governments like the Chinese government feel this way, you then went to the opposite side, saying that locals disagree with this. Okay, and then, so I felt like you started off on the right track, but then you ended up by saying, yeah, well, the government say this, but local people say, no, 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 this is terrible. That's not what you should be doing here. You should just be really developing this particular viewpoint more, supporting it, extending it, and illustrating what you're talking about here. All right, the good news is that a lot of your grammar and a lot of your vocabulary are really nice. They're at a very nice level. What we have to do, though, is we have to work on the way you're extending your arguments and how your, how can I say this, how developed your paragraphs are. There's a lot of words, but there's not a lot in terms of substance where an examiner can read it and say, yeah, you know, there's really not much else you can say about this. It's well developed, and I am really clear on what the author's viewpoint is. Okay, so that's what we have to work on. For that reason, I'm going to recommend that you sign up to the online course. There's lots of information on how to develop your paragraphs appropriately and fully so you can get the score that you need. So please look into that option, see if it works for you, and hopefully we'll get to see more of your work in the future. I look forward to it. I'd like to see what you're doing with task 1 for sure, and also what you would write on another essay. Okay, so like I said, look into that option, see if it works for you, and hopefully we'll get to work with each other again.